let's actually save this for a moment because I wanted to show you how to create that masking surface before I forget. So we want the masking surface on when we do the roughing and the finishing. So let's go ahead into a quad view so we can see the part in all axes. So what we want to do is we want to cut a section of the part through an area that has no features. So we're going to want to cut it straight through this area right here, which has the exact cross section of this cavity. So how we're going to do that, we're going to start by just creating a line. Okay, and we want the line to start at the center. So we're going to go down to the object snaps and make sure the center object snap is turned on. And we're just going to pick somewhere in one of these diameters in order to grab that center. So there's our center point. Now we want to drag that line anywhere through the part. I'm doing it right over here, so it cuts right through this area right here. Okay, and what I'm going to do now to generate that section, I'm actually going to calculate a section based on the intersection of a surface and the solid model. So I want to create a surface from this line. So we're going to go up to surfacing. We're going to do extrude curve straight. So we're going to select this line or curve, and we're going to just right click. So we're going to drag a surface. You see how the surface is being dragged up and down. So we're just going to bring it up a ways, so we know that it's going to be large enough to bisect the part. So we'll pick a point there. And then we're just going to grab the surface, and this, we'll call in Rhino, it's called a gumball. If you want to turn this gumball, these are just easy ways of manipulating that selected surface. You can turn that on down here where it says gumball. So with that displayed, we're just going to pick on the y-axis and just drag it up or down. You want to pick it and hold it with the left mouse button and drag it. So we're just going to move it down so it completely bisects the part. So if you see up here, we have the cross section of that surface and the part itself. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create a section curve. We're going to go to curve, and we're going to go from objects, and we're going to go from objects, and we're going to go intersection. So we're going to select the objects that we want to intersect. So we're going to select the surface and select this solid and right click, and you'll see highlighted the cross section curve of the part itself. So that's what we want. While it's selected, it's a good idea to go ahead and use the merge command. Over here on the left, you'll see where it says join. We're going to pick join and right click. Okay. So now if we go ahead and let's hide this. Let's go ahead and create another layer here. We'll call it mask 2. Okay. So we're going to, with the surface selected, we don't need it anymore. So we're going to just right click and change the object layer to that. And then we'll turn that layer off for now. And then also, if you zoom in, you'll see that we have our curve. Okay. So we don't really need all of that. So let's go ahead and let's see, let's just hide that for a second. So here's our curve. Actually, let's explode it. We're going to pick the explode command over here, right click. Okay, so now we got access to the curve itself. We don't want some of these. We don't want that. We don't need that. So all we're looking at is a cross section from the perimeter of the cavity to the center of the part. So we're going to go ahead and just window select that, and then we're going to merge those. Okay, so now we have one curve. So let's turn our part back on. So what we're going to do is we're going to select that curve, and we're just going to move it over here. We can leave it. We'll move it to the masking surface in just a second after we rotate it. So we're going to go up here to surface.
You might want to change the color down of the masking layer rather.
Yeah, we can do that. We'll change that to maybe red. Change that to red. Okay. If you turn that on, you'll see that it's red. Okay, so we're going to take the curve and we're going to revolve it around. Okay, so you can select the curve ahead of time, or you can select it during the surface creation process. So we're going to do surface, and we're going to do revolve, and we're going to select our curve that we created. Right click. So now you'll see that it's asking you the start of the revolve axis. So we want to pick the center. So with our center quadrant still selected, we're going to go ahead and pick the center point. And it's asking you for the end of the revolve axis. So we want to turn our ortho constraint on. That'll constrain the dragging to up and down or right or left. So we just want to pick another point that's in the positive z-axis. That defines the axis that we're going to rotate. And then it's asking you for the starting angle. We just want to hit enter because we're going to start at 0, and we're going to hit enter again because we're going to stop at 360. Okay, so if you look, you'll see that there's a surface that was created, and we'll go ahead and move that over to our mask 2 surface layer. Okay, and let's go ahead and make that. You'll see that we have our surface there, but also we want to flip the normal of the surface. Here's another point too. If you create surfaces and you see that you can see through them as if they weren't there, that means you need to flip the side of the surface. A surface has a normal side and it has a back side. So if you can see through it, you're looking at the back side of the surface. So we're going to go ahead and select the surface, and we're going to type in flip. Press enter. So that flips the surface over so that you can see the surface from the direction that you're cutting. Okay, so this is our, if we look here, we can go over here now. So we got this masking surface here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take this and hide that for now. We don't want that displayed when we're calculating our toolpath. So let's turn our geometry back on. So now you see that we have our masking surface defined. It's covering up this pocket here. It's covering all of these pockets around the boss. So that's